Hi, I wanted to do some recording on our new Frankincense Intense Age-Defying Overnight Mask. It's a little bit of a mouthful, but it's a new, pretty innovative mask, overnight mask. So we can either use this as a treatment mask, as a sort of 30-minute on the skin, or overnight. So what I want to do is go through some of the ingredients, some of the background. You don't have to learn all of this to be able to tell your customers and clients, but some of it, everyone will pick up different small things from the training. And I only got the training a few days ago, so I shall be referring to my notes. I'll do a little bit of screen sharing as well, but also the usual caveat. The images that I show you on here are not for the public. They are only for internal training. And then we also have a lot of social media images that we can use to share this. But actually, as usual, the best thing to do is to have the product, do your own little videos and photographs to be able to make your feeds on social media particularly look different from everybody else's. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to start with the packaging. So this is comes in a box. It's got the silver embossed Frankincense Intense usual sort of look to it. Looks very premium, very luxurious. And then when we go inside, we have the embossed silver lid, which hopefully you can see through. There we go. And then it looks very much like the Frankincense Intense cream jar. Inside, we have, you can tell I've been using it already. So as a texture, I'm just going to show you this sort of straight off. It is a cream, so it sits on a spatula really easily. When it goes onto the skin from using it, I found it's smooth and it's luxurious, but it's slightly drier than a moisturizer. So people won't use this instead of a moisturizer, I don't think. But you can start to see it just sink in. So you just put a small amount and just spread across the skin. As I say, that will start to absorb, and that can be left on for 30 minutes or overnight, whichever somebody wishes. Let's have a look at what's behind it. I'm going to do a screen share and we'll come back to the little pot of loveliness in just a minute. So here we go. Now I'm going to hope that these slides that I have snipped from somewhere else. So we've got the Frankincense Intense range. Let's think about who that range is for. And primarily, what we want to do is have conversations with our customers and clients about their concern with their skin. So if they are concerned about fine lines, about the aging process, or about deeper lines, then we can have those conversations around our Frankincense Intense range. So in the Intense and the Intense Lift ranges, these are some of the ingredients that we can particularly talk about. So the Intense range, not the lift yet, is for the first signs of aging, and when people are concerned about that, this is a range that you can introduce them to. So in there we've got sodium hyaluronate, which is made from corn and is called a moisture magnet because it can hold up to 1,000 times its own weight in water. So if you think about it, is naturally occurring in our skin, and it is a way of plumping up the skin just using moisture. Then we've got a 3-peptide complex in all of our Frankincense Intense products. And this is a synergy of peptides that help smooth the skin and reduce lines through a couple of different ways. We've got gardenia plant stem cells, which work with the tripeptide complex. And what one does, so the peptides and the gardenia cells between them, one increases the collagen in your skin and tricks your skin into making it think that collagen is breaking down. So your skin naturally increases the amount of collagen that's in your skin. And collagen is one of the building blocks of what gives you the firmness and the kind of spring back of your skin. The other one, between the peptides and the gardenia plant stem cells, the other one reduces the breakdown of collagen. So you're losing the structure of the collagen at a lower rate than you would naturally. And then we've got argan oil, which comes from the cooperative that we buy all of our argan oil from, which is in the Sioux Valley in Morocco, which is a women's cooperative. And this is rich in vitamin E and has up to 80% essential fatty acids in there. So that's part of the Intense range. Then we've got the Intense Lift range. So key features of this is for second signs of aging, and this visibly lifts and recontours. So this is for deeper lines, and it's for anyone who's noticed that the kind of spring doesn't come back in their skin. It could be that they have sometimes people notice it on their neck or around their jawline particularly, but it is when they sort of say, oh, you know, the firmness and the plumpness in their skin and the underlying area of their skin. So not just what you see on the surface, but what's going on underneath the skin is actually where all the business end of it is. That's where your collagen and elastin is, but we'll have a look at that. So in the Lift range, we've got this great ingredient, which is the Frankincense Active Phyto Complex. So this is actually made from a byproduct of the frankincense essential oil distillation. So what happens with, well, what always happens with our frankincense essential oils is that they are distilled, the frankincense resin is distilled in its country of origin, so that what we're doing for that community is actually leaving a lot more money with them. So some companies and some essential oil producers would buy the frankincense resin from the country where it's been harvested, bring it back to their home country, so say bring it into the UK and distill it here, and then that distillation process, the economics of that comes into the UK, whereas we leave ours for the local communities. Often that's a cooperative distillation plant, for them to distill the essential oils, and then we buy the essential oil from them. However, from that, the frankincense resin, once the essential oil has been distilled, there is this waste product. And we worked a few years ago with a university in Italy to look at that waste product and see if we could harvest some extra goodness from it. And what we found was what we're calling the Frankincense Active Phyto Complex is from that waste product. We found, sorry, I have to look at my notes at this point because it's staggering. What we did was we extracted a whole load of antioxidants and polyphenols. Antioxidants, amazing things to help with age-defying products. If you think about an apple when you cut it, this is always my analogy, you cut an apple and you leave it open in the air, it goes brown, it oxidizes, it starts to break down. If you put lemon juice on that apple, lemon juice is an antioxidant, which stops the apple going brown. So in the same way, we eat antioxidants, we need to eat them to help repair our body, but we can also use them in skincare to help slow down that breakdown of things oxidizing. It's sometimes called the oxidation effect, and antioxidants are a way of slowing that or preventing it. So this waste product, which I guess, yeah, was just thrown onto a compost heap somewhere, we now get from that a whole load of antioxidants, including the boswellic acid, and these are proven collagen protecting properties. Now that's the antioxidant part of it. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, you must come back and ask me a bit more about it. Then we have the lifting technology. So this is when people find that their skin is not defying gravity like it used to. So this is a synergistic blend of ribose, microalgae and linseed. We'll go into this a little bit more. And these products together help lift and firm the skin. Then we've got hyaluronic acid and sodium hyaluronate, again for plumping with the moisture absorbing parts of the hyaluronic acid that will hold up to 1,000 times their own weight in water. And we've got of course, the frankincense essential oils, which again, it's about the kind of mindfulness. It's about breathing in the fragrance of the essential oil. You know, we've talked about age well and stress less over the last years. Well, this is what we're talking about. The the aging well is using the product, and the stressing less is actually the frankincense essential oil helping us be calmer, breathe more deeply, be more grounded. So that's the stress less part of it. Okay, so this is a little bit about the phyto complex. So this is a zero waste project. I just think it's brilliant. So we get the essential oil, as you can see here on the left-hand side. It's steam distilled, and the byproduct goes through what's called an enzymatic process. You don't need to tell people that specifically, but from that we get the complex, which is then used in the Frankincense Intense Lift products. Okay, I told you a little bit about that. Now, the frankincense, this is in downloads. So again, just the background of some of the frankincense. If you want to read through this, then just pause this recording and you can read through it. But the frankincense from Oman, which is also quite revolutionary, that we're working with small producers in Oman to create organic frankincense essential oil. So that's all harvested sustainably, and again is the essential oil is distilled in the country of origin to make it economically better for the country of origin. So we've got our collections, and these are the bottom you can see on the left and right. We've got the Frankincense Intense products on the bottom left with the silver tops, and then bottom right we've got the gold tops, which is the lift. Sitting in the middle of that is our Frankincense Intense Beauty Boost, which is a supplement which has frankincense in it, but it's what I would describe as our skin, hair and nail supplement. People have seen amazing results from using this, from hair thickening to improved skin. And I think it's often something we forget to talk about when people come to us with their skin concerns, is actually looking at the organic beauty oil or a multivitamin or the beauty boost to actually improve their skin from the inside as well as the outside. And that's not just about age defying, that's about all sorts of skin concerns that people have, whether that be, you know, eczema and psoriasis and acne and all sorts. People need to look at what they're taking inside as well as outside. And then sitting along the top here, we've got our more recent products, which actually then flip-flop between the two ranges that are shown underneath. So we've got the cleansing melt, which is that beautiful three-phase cleanser. Starts off as an oil when it comes out of the tube, goes into a gel as you massage it on, and when you add water to rinse it off, it turns into a milk and rinses off. Then we've got the hydrating essence, which we put on before a serum. It's part of the kind of Korean beauty technique of having a number of stages in your skincare routine. So this is used to really super boost the hydration into your skin. So it goes into the lower layers, as I say, used before a serum. Then just popped in here, we've got our hand serum. Again, an amazing product for letting our hands have some of the treat, because I think we do forget our hands, and often signs of aging are really seen on the hands, with the skin not being in, you know, such great condition because our hands are always on show, always in the weather, and also age spots, which I think is what we call them. Some people call them raisins on their skin, but it is the marks on your skin which look a bit like freckles, and the older you get, the more your skin has been in the sun, the more likely it is that you'll get age spots. And then alongside this, we've got our mask as well. So the mask sits over both of these two ranges, just so it's not in the Frankincense Intense or the Lift collections, it sits with both. So that has been a question, certainly. Okay, so this is what we're saying about the overnight mask. So redefine your age with Neil Jard Remedies, luxurious, certified, organic, age-defying mask, expertly formulated and clinically proven to firm, lift and reduce the appearance of deep lines and wrinkles. Skin is left visibly restored and recontoured to help you look good and feel good naturally. So I think, you know, what more could people ask for? And a lot of these images that you can see here, the kind of the images we're using in a lot of our social media tiles that we're being given, and also in some of the videos that you'll see as well. So why did we do this? Where do we start? So it's a certified organic overnight mask, and it's clinically proven. And these are the sort of key things to think about. It's clinically proven to firm, lift, and reduce the appearance of deep lines and wrinkles, and the skin is left visibly restored and recontoured. So main points. So clinically proven, targets the natural signs of aging, emotional and lifestyle stress. So again, that's part of the frankincense. It's adaptogen infused. Now, adaptogens are, I always think of them as herbs that you take as a tonic or as a herbal tea or something like that. But actually, I will come back to this. But adaptogens in skincare are something that is kind of a real buzz around the beauty and skincare market at the moment. Multifunctional, so can be used overnight as a restorative treatment or an instant 30-minute boost. So it could be that you just want your skin, or your customer or clients, they want their skin to have that extra boost before you go into a party, or you're just feeling like you want to just that extra. Sometimes you just think, oh, my skin looks, maybe a little bit dull, or I look a little bit tired, and you just want that extra boost. So it can be certainly used for a 30-minute or up to an hour, say, as a boost. So a really beautiful, luxurious cream texture. You saw it on my hand. The shea butter and cocoa butters in here give it that rich texture. It completes the Frankincense Intense routine. So it doesn't take away from the gel mask, which some people use. We have another frankincense mask, which is a gel. It's obviously totally different texture, but this sits within the intense ranges. Across both of them, certified organic and dermatologically tested. So it's been patch tested on sensitive skin and is suitable for all skin types. And the retail price is £50. So the sensitive part, now, if somebody knows there's an ingredient in there that they are sensitive to, clearly that's not going to change. So if somebody wants to test on a little bit of skin, like a bit of what I would term thin skin, so on the inside of the wrist or the inside of the elbow, to start with, if they have very sensitive skin or they're not sure, or the next one on from that is to do it just on the jawline. So the reason that we've created this is that over lockdown, what happened was people are spending a lot more time on their treatment of their skin. So not just a cleanse, tone, moisturizer type routine morning and evening, but actually spending time on their skin, thinking about it. And the mask market has really grown in that time. So people wanting more indulgent products. So the mask format is an opportunity to really bring our Frankincense Intense range together. So let's just have a quick recap of how the skin works. So the epidermis, which is the top layer, that's the bit that we see. That is where we have our own protective kind of system on the skin. So that includes the sebum, which is created, the oiliness that comes to our skin, whether we've got dry skin or normal or oily skin, but actually we've got this defensive barrier which is made up of sweat and like a microbiome. Sorry, I lost my words. Like we talk about a microbiome in our gut. Well, we actually have a microbiome on our skin, and when that goes a little bit out of kilter, that's when we start to see different skin conditions that we might be concerned about. So that's what we see on the skin, but actually the main part of the action of the skin goes on underneath, and that's the dermis, or the lower layer of the skin. So the dermis is, you can see, it's not a very pretty picture, is it? But this is where you get the blood flow comes to help bring nutrients to the skin and remove anything as well. So, and then the hypodermis, which is the lower layers of the skin, which is like the fatty tissue, might be called the subcutaneous layer. So hyaluronic acid works within our skin. It's also naturally occurring, and this is the one that attracts up to 1,000 times its own weight in water. It's like a moisture magnet. Then we have fibroblasts. So we're just looking at some of the different elements of the skin, and then we'll look at how the ingredients in the mask work with our skin. So fibroblasts are cells within the lower layer of the skin, which are responsible for generating connective tissue and allowing the skin to repair. So they're kind of the skin cell production unit. So when they work too much, things like, I'm trying to think of what the scarring's called, when you get a scar that overproduces, or even with eczema and psoriasis, actually, when there's those layers of skin cells which would normally be shed, it's generally the fibroblasts which are working too much and creating too many skin cells. But actually, when they're working in their best way, they are creating the repair system for our skin. Elastin fibers. So these are protein. We hear a lot about collagen and elastin. So elastin fibers, which when we're younger, if you think of an elastic band, when you've got a new elastic band, it's got lots of stretch and it pings back loads of times. Over time, that elastic band will get more worn, it will stretch, and it won't pop back to where it used to be. So if you think about, unfortunately, thinking about our skin is an aging elastic band, but that's the elastin part of it. Gives our skin the firmness, but we'll come back to why this mask works on that. And then we have collagen, which is the most abundant protein in the human body, found in bones, muscles, tendons. So it's being made from within all of the time, but it is part of the structure of our skin cells. And I often talk about collagen and elastin being like a brick wall. So the collagen is the bricks underneath your skin, making it firm. And the elastin is the mortar that goes between the bricks and holds it all together. So between the two, that's what builds up the structure of your skin. And when one or other or both of them are not there in their entirety, then the skin starts to have lines, or it starts to go with gravity a bit, and it's not as firm and as plump as it would be. And then microcirculation. So this is your blood vessels and things, which are just the tiny, tiny blood vessels which get to the skin, and they enable the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the skin. So let me just check that we've got everything there. Yes. So microcirculation, it's where we know that massage works really well. So any product that you can massage, whether that's on the body or the face, it's bringing more circulation to the skin. So it's bringing more nutrients to the skin, more oxygen, and gives you more radiance. So that's why if you're a massage therapist, you know how that benefits the body. So I have covered some of this. So as we age, the fibroblasts decrease in activity, so they don't reproduce skin cells as regularly as they used to. The collagen and the elastin starts to break down a bit, so they're not as solid together as a new brick wall. They become a slightly more wonky brick wall, and then what you see on the surface is lines. And then proteins holding the hyaluronic acid deteriorate. So like anything that's aging, we can age well, but we can't stop the aging process. Microcirculation also reduces, which means actually massage is more important for bringing radiance. So I don't really like to talk about age with products, because it is always about how somebody feels in their own skin and their concern. So you would never want to say to somebody, oh, you're X age, therefore you need this product. The question is always, what's your main concern? And then they can tell you how they see their own skin. So in our 20s, collagen and elastin starts to decrease by about 1% each year. And key skin concerns may be the fine expression lines or first signs of aging. So, people who are concerned about aging well products in their 20s, they have a right to do that if that's how they feel about their skin. 30s and 40s, the hyaluronic acid production slows and the skin cells bind water less efficiently, so can become drier. And often you hear about people saying that skin dries over time. So yes, in key skin concerns in 30s and 40s is more defined expression lines, so what we might call laughter lines, but it is about how you've lived in your skin as well, isn't it? I think the more character and lines your skin has, it is just part of the story that is about where you are on this journey of life. And again, not a concern if it isn't the customer's concern. And then 40s and plus, which is an awful lot of years after being 40, but actually the lipids reduce, everything starts, to reduce in the skin. So that's where we need to make sure that we're adding ingredients that can really make our skin look its best self at the end of the day. So over 40, key concerns: a less plump look and feel to the face with deeper expression lines and irregular pigmentation. So yes, certainly a change in colouring. So two things, two ways that our skin ages. One is internal, intrinsic aging, which is, how our body works. And we can't really do much about these things. So our body clock, our metabolism changes, our hormones change. There's oxidization of cells, which are just naturally occurring. You can try and help that, but you can't stop it. And a lot of these things do depend on, our genes at the end of the day, how we are made up in our own bodies. And then we've got external aging, which we can do something about. We can't do something about all of it, but we can certainly think about things like our light exposure, particularly the sun. 98% of skin aging and damage is done by the sun. Pollution in the air, blue light exposure, so certainly all the devices that we use, poor sleep, and then what we eat and drink, if they're not, things that we know aren't great for us. So the oxidative stress is caused by free radicals, right? This oxidative stress, it's what I was talking about earlier about the apple going brown. It's oxidization, and actually stress causes an awful lot of that damage. We'll go into stress a little bit more in a minute. So slows down collagen and elastin rebuilding. As we've got here, 80% of skin aging is caused by the sun. I've always heard it was a lot more than that. But anyway, irregular skin pigmentation. And then other things are, chemicals and toxins of lifestyle choices as well. Sorry. Our stress response now, this I find really extraordinary. So stress triggers a reaction in the body called the fight or flight response, which you've probably heard about. And when that happens, and our adrenals are really running, then we have the production of stress hormones called adrenaline and cortisol. So stress starts in the mind and in the pituitary gland, and it triggers the release of adrenaline from the adrenals. So you'll know when you're stressed, you'll probably be able to feel your adrenaline running. And actually after the event, you'll probably feel like quite tired or come down off that high of adrenaline, that actually you just kind of slump a bit. But adrenaline is there for our fight or flight. So in centuries, millennia gone past, when we were hunting, shooting, fishing kind of beings, not sat at a desk being stressed by emails or phone calls, actually the adrenaline was there to give us extra strength and extra ability to fight or go hunting for food, and that could be in literally a fighting one-on-one situation, or say could be about hunting as well. So the adrenaline should be burnt off within an hour. It's only designed to be in the body for an hour. So if we were fighting, we would be using energy and, running or whatever we're doing, but burning up that adrenaline. These days, if we're stressed about an email or a phone call or a life situation, it's unlikely we're doing exercise at that time. But actually, that's why exercise when you're stressed or just after you're stressed will help burn off the adrenaline, even if that's a walk around the block, a quick run on the spot, something to use up that energy. Otherwise, the adrenaline is not going to do great things in our body. So it raises blood sugar. It makes our breathing get faster and more shallow. We don't breathe deeply. So if we're a bit scared, we only breathe to about here. It thickens the blood. So if you think about a fight or flight situation, if you were in battle and somebody cut you, if your blood is thicker, it's not going to bleed out as quickly. But when we have that response with our adrenals to an email, actually the thickening of our blood is not very helpful. But these are things you can't change that. What happens in your body, what we can change is how we, deal with stress, but also, let's say, just trying to burn it off a little bit afterwards. It slows the digestion down, and it slows the maintenance to save energy. So it's not going to maintain things in our body because it's going, right, we're going to fight. We're going to be, we're going to be needed for repairing damage to us if we're cut, or, for hunting it, we need the energy to go and hunt. So it's there as a very different reason in our body than why we're stressed now. And it also reduces the immune function. So it is that it makes our body get ready for something, which generally we don't do these days. Yeah, so yeah, sorry, just checking my notes to make sure we're done. So that's our stress response. But just those things really triggered with me about, okay, yeah, those things do happen. If I can get up and just walk away from something, go and clear my head, just burn it up a little bit, walk around the office block that you're in, walk around your garden, walk around the block, run on the spot for a few minutes, run up and down stairs a few times, just burn it off, will really benefit the body. So stress and aging. Now, excuse me a sec. Make sure I don't run out of battery. So adrenaline, as we know now, accelerates the heart rate and constricts blood vessels, and the cortisol, which is there as well, also increases blood pressure, hardens the arteries, increases fat storage, lowers growth hormones. So lots of things which we hear about in our modern society, and from being stressed in a way that is not useful in the way that we live. And then DHEA is also produced by the adrenal glands, and this is becoming talked about more and more. So it balances the cortisol effects and has a building influence. So DHEA actually depletes with stress. So it needs to be there for helping to balance out the cortisol, but actually when we're stressed, it actually gets less and less. So you've got this imbalance of increasing stress hormones and then decreasing DHEA as well. So it starts to decline after the age of 30, which also doesn't help, and slows the production of our natural growth hormones. So there's a few facts on here. Again, if you want to read through all of these, then do pause this and just read through the facts here as well. So we can be using things to try and help rebalance our stress, like adaptogens like ashwagandha and maca and things like that. But we'll come to them a little bit more in a moment. So stress and skin. So it makes it kind of disrupts the way that our skin usually works, and the skin barrier, that microbiome that I talked about on the skin. So it leaves our skin more vulnerable as well. So we can often get a dryness, skin aging. It starts to break down the collagen. So actually the building blocks, we're damaging them because of stress. Often our skin can become sensitive or red. Again, if we're breaking down that microbiome on the outside, it's giving an imbalance to our skin, which gives us things like sensitivities. And it can also increase oil production and breakouts. So those times where people talk about, having unfair spots or actually going through a time of acne could be due to stress as well. So adaptogens, which are ingredients which help adapt, where the word comes from, where adapt comes from, offers the antioxidant support from our skincare to help the skin repair itself. Again, just going to just check, yes, all my notes were good. So why do we use a facial mask? So it's an intense treatment and targeting a main skincare concern. So if somebody has a different concern, so it's not the finer lines or deeper lines, then actually we do have other masks as well. So we've got so on this next one, no. So we've got things like, the rose clay mask. We've got Palmarosa, a clay mask for more oily skin. We've got the frankincense gel mask as well. And we've got the white tea mask, which is a clay mask for more sensitive skin, or a good all-round clay mask. So we've got different ones for different occasions. So that's why we use a mask, is to actually target main skincare concerns. So when someone's talking to you about their concerns, just know that we've got the different skincare ranges that people can mix and match from, and actually, use things from different ranges if that's what they want to do. So adaptogen infused skincare. So this is kind of new on the market. Adaptogens, as I say, they're quite kind of buzzy words at the moment. So what we've got is three different ingredients here, which we'll get to. So they're formulated and the ingredients that are used in the new frankincense mask, and they are ones for helping us age well. So they protect against the free radical damage. They reduce the appearance of expression lines, supports even skin tone and radiance, and also nourishing and hydrating skin. So the three adaptogens are ashwagandha. It's a really trendy ingredient. It's a really strong Ayurvedic ingredient, which is also called Indian ginseng. So you may well know about Indian, you may well have heard about ginseng and Siberian ginseng or Indian ginseng. Again, just pause this if you want to read a bit more in depth. Then we've got a gotu kola, which is a macerated oil. And this is traditionally, again, used in Ayurveda. It's something we use quite a lot. However, at the moment in skincare, it's being known as centella as an ingredient. So if somebody is really into their ingredients and they want to know if we have a product that has centella in it, well, actually, gotu kola is in lots of our products. So it's something we do use. We are, good at using gotu kola. It's a real healing, repairing ingredient, but also helps firm and plump the skin. So that's why it's being used in an aging well. And then we've got turmeric root, curcuma longa. Turmeric, we know as an ingredient for food as well as for skincare. It helps with radiance. It's good. It's a good antioxidant and helps even skin tone. So where skin changes color a bit, so I keep pointing at things that I know are on my skin. But if you've got an imbalance of skin tone, turmeric is a really good one for helping balance that. Then we've got ingredients which visibly firm and contour. So we talked about hyaluronic acid and sodium hyaluronate. We've talked about those quite a lot. And then we've got some new ingredients here as well. We've got bacillus ferment. So this is a marine ingredient. It's again, let me just go to this is the ingredient. The words here described as a freezing blast for tired and urban skin. It's like, what on earth does freezing blast mean? So actually, the ingredient comes from very cold water, and it increases the cell energy. So if you liked science at school and think about physics and the way that energy, can't be created or destroyed, it's coming from a very cold area. So actually, as it warms up, it increases its energy and gives energy to the skin. Which increases the contraction of the skin. So it's like when an elastic band goes a bit too stretchy, it will ping it back more easily. So that's what this is doing within the skincare. It's helping the elasticity of the skin ping back. And then we've got glycogen, which is derived from corn. Again, just partly reading my notes. This binds water and increases hydration, and also increases productivity of the fibroblasts, which is the cell production. Remember, I talked about fibroblasts, and when they produce too many skin cells, they can actually form like larger scars on the skin, or they can increase, particularly like plaque, skin plaque on the skin when they're overproducing. But actually with age, they underproduce, they don't repair the skin as quickly. So actually the glycogen is helping to make the fibroblasts increase their production of cells, which means, that then the skin is more plumped and gives us that kind of bounce back again. Okay, bear with me a second. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. Okay, so I just had to have a quick drink before I went on. Okay, so how do we hydrate the skin? So we've got aloe vera, really well-known ingredient we use in lots and lots of products. So it's soothing and cooling, and it also helps bring moisture to the skin and plump it up. So you can see how we're getting layer upon layer of different ingredients, which overall make the product work. And then we've got glycerin, which we use in quite a lot of products. So glycerin protects the skin from moisture loss. So we use glycerin in the hand sanitizer as well, in the hand spray, because actually there's quite a lot of alcohol in that product, but actually what you don't want is over sort of increased moisture loss. So actually we use glycerin in products to help retain the moisture within the skin. And also the glycerin helps to improve the skin barrier, that microbiome as well, keeping it soft and moisturized. So yeah, lots of levels. Then how do we protect the skin? So again, I talked about these the cocoa butter, which is cold pressed. We get that from Africa, and the shea butter again from Africa. Both of them really rich in fatty acids. They nourish the skin. And the shea butter, there's always the lovely story about this. The shea nut butter is handcrafted by women's groups in Burkina Faso, and they use the same traditional processes that have been used for centuries. So actually it's one of those really lovely background stories of Neil Shard Remedies buying from communities around the world, supporting communities in an economic way, which helps everybody, you know, be more independent. So it's not just we make lovely products, but obviously all of those provenance stories behind the scenes as well. But really nourishing ingredients here with the butters that help protect the skin. We also have sorry, need to go on to the enhancing well-being. So this is about the frankincense essential oil. So again, we were talking about the age well, stress less, and the whole point of, you know, putting some of the product onto your skin and inhaling it, any of the frankincense products that make you breathe more deeply, feel more grounded, just slow down a little bit. So again, have a pause here and read this if you'd like to, but we talk about frankincense an awful lot. In here we have frankincense from Oman, and then we also have two different types of frankincense which are from Kenya. We've talked in the past, if you've been around a few years, the Samburu tribe in Kenya, who are again a group of women who go and harvest the frankincense from frankincense trees in their area. So the stress-less aroma. So this might be a nice thing for you to think about if you wanted to put this into a diffuser. So having an aroma of the frankincense essential oil. So again, always been burned to enhance a sense of peace, used for meditation and mindfulness. Mandarin in here, which is sunny and calming. It's kind of that lift, but a calm kind of lift. Bergamot, which is cooling and balancing. So the balancing side of that really helps with stress. Neroli, oh, just beautiful. You know, who doesn't love neroli? Floral, soothing, sometimes called the hugging essential oil. So like a hug in a bottle. And then myrrh, which again, very similar in many ways to frankincense, really grounding, quite a deep, really woody base note to it as well. So actually to have that in a diffuser to use could be if you're in a treatment room, if you're a therapist and you want to create this sense of de-stress whilst you're doing treatments. If you're working and becoming stressed, this could be a great range of essential oils to make for yourself. Or if you want to, if you're not into actually creating a blend of oils like this, you could use our de-stress blend or the meditation blend as well. All of them really good, as we know. Okay, so benefits and claims. So a lot of this stuff is coming out in some of the social media tiles that we've got. So you can share some of the tiles, but please, as I say, don't use what I'm presenting here because this is only for our own benefit. So after 30 minutes, 70% agree their skin feels firmer, 84% that it's replenished, 86% it's visibly smoother. And then continued use. So this was based on a consumer trial with 100 women used as an overnight treatment 3 times a week. That's the continued use. That's what that means. So 70% agree their cheeks and jawline are visibly contoured. So sometimes people are looking for a contouring. We often, you know, in our, I don't know, for the first few decades of our life, again, I don't like putting ages on, we have kind of a V to our face shape, and that becomes more of a W after a while. So what this is actually doing is this firming of the jawline is what people are talking about, is just under here, the chin and jawline being recontoured. So again, pause this if you'd like to read all of the comments here. So how to use the mask. So we've got as an instant boost, so apply to a cleansed skin. And when you're doing an instant boost, this could be something that you want to do a half an hour moment of calm, or half an hour of calm is actually to use it in the bath, maybe whilst you're reading a book, you're doing some yoga or meditation, make a cup of tea, just be mindful about your surroundings. Then you could use this as a 30-minute holistic grounding treatment, doing something that helps you relax and de-stress. So you gently massage it into the skin. Yeah, let me just, if you have one of these whilst you're watching this training, then it's quite a nice way to be able to actually put this on as we talk about it. So if I put a little onto my, so if you can imagine, I've cleansed my skin, and then I'm just going to do it on one side, if I can see it. So gently massage into the face and neck. I would definitely use it from the décolleté up, making sure that it's on my neck and then all the way over the face as well. So don't put it too close to the eyes. And if you want to, you can massage it in. You can see it just sits gently on the skin and then will become absorbed. But also shows you, as with everything, you don't need too much. I'm just going to leave that to settle whilst. So as I said earlier, you can use this as a boost before if you want to, if you're going out, or if you want visibly smoother skin, making it a really great base for makeup. You could use this for a half-hour treatment, then continue with you know, your usual routine: cleanse, tone, serum, moisturize, and then put makeup on. So it can be, you know, a treat before a special occasion or going out. And then if you want to do it overnight, again, to cleanse skin, you can use it up to 3 times a week. Gently massage into the face and neck, again, upwards and in circular motions going up. Leave it overnight and follow with your Frankincense Intense skincare routine in the morning. So again, your cleanse tone, whatever you use. It can, because it's got quite rich butters in it, it can leave a slight oily residue on sheets or pillowcases. So if people are concerned about their bed linens, then either use an older pillowcase or just put something to protect the pillowcase is the only thing that might be an idea. Okay, I think that's all that information. Good. So which mask is right for me? Now, I'm hoping this is going to go into downloads because so much on here, so much information about our mask range. So if you would like to take an image of this, you can use it for your own use only if you're advising somebody. But please, again, please do not give this to the general public. You can just use it if someone says, oh, my concern is I don't know, I've got oily skin, blemish prone skin. So you could look down the skin type or the benefits to see which one would apply to that person. In that case, it would be the Purifying Palmarosa mask. So just a reminder really that we have lots of different masks to choose from, and this fits in with our age-defying range. And then there will be a lot of FAQs. Again, these will be in downloads at some point. So how it fits into your Frankincense Intense range. So again, using this as an overnight up to 3 times a week. The rejuvenating, so well, how does this fit between the rejuvenating frankincense mask, which is a gel texture, and the age-defying mask that we're looking at here, which has got a really luxurious cream texture? Again, just take a look at these and read through. And can all skin types use the Frankincense Intense Overnight Mask? So yeah, it's been dermatologically tested, it's suitable for all skin types. But for anyone who's concerned about sensitivities, just make sure that they do a patch test 48 hours before using. So that's the inside of the wrist or inside of the elbow, or if they want to, just a little bit on the jawline. But I would suggest doing, with anybody who's got sensitive skin, do a patch test. And if sensitivity occurs, then obviously rinse it off with warm, cool water and discontinue use. Now, if you do have someone that buys this from you and they do find that they're sensitive to it, so you can get in contact with the office and get the product returned and a refund as well. So just so that you're aware of that. But it's been really well tested. I know a couple of people who have sensitive skin who do have been trialing it and using it, and they've been fine. But we never know. Everybody's different with their skin. So how many applications will I get from one jar? Well, they said 10. Now I think you'd get way more than that. I mean, if you're using quite a lot from the décolleté up, I mean, if you're just using it on the face, that's probably half the amount you would use if you were doing it on your neck and décolleté. But I've been using this a good couple of weeks. You can see maybe I've used 20% of it. Maybe not even that. So I mean, I would think you've probably got 2 or 3 months worth in there. Can you add this to your existing skincare routine? Absolutely. And then when should you see results? So you can expect to see some results after the first 30-minute treatment. So according to the consumer trials on 102 consumers, the skin feels instantly firmer, replenished, and visibly smoother. And it's been proven to firm, lift, and recontour skin, as well as reduce the appearance of deep lines and wrinkles after 28 days when used 3 times a week. So it does need to be used on a regular basis to get those results that we found in the clinical trials. Depending on how you use the mask, if you're using it for 30 minutes, then rinse off with warm water. If you've used it overnight, then just use your normal skincare routine the next morning. You can't use this instead of a moisturizer. The moisturizer is a different product, works in a different way. So this is definitely a mask. And then how do adaptogens work topically? So I'm just going to read this. So they've been used for centuries in Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine. Beyond the benefits of using them in wellness areas and medicine, adaptogens can also provide significant benefits to the skin. Adaptogens can be herbs, plants, or mushrooms that adapt to what the body needs, i.e. help the skin and body adapt to environmental stress. Basically, when we use adaptogens topically, they will support the skin's stress response by fighting off the signs of aging and reducing visible signs of stress and fatigue. Therefore, we've created a botanical complex of 3 adaptogenic herbs: ashwagandha extract, gotu kola oil, and turmeric root extract, to help relax and support the skin for more rested, radiant complexion. Okay, hopefully that answers quite a few of your questions. Then just a quick recap of the Frankincense Beauty Booster I talked about this earlier. I've got this slide was here. So this is the supplement, the skin, hair and nail supplement, with frankincense and vitamin C for normal functioning of skin. So frankincense in here, pine bark extract, white tea, both great antioxidants. MSM is an organic sulfur found in keratin, which is the tough bits of your nails and your hair and skin. So it's helping strengthen skin, hair and nails. Horsetail extract, really good source of silica, which again is a component of the skin, hair and nails. Vitamin C helps the production of collagen, helps rebuild cell formation. And you take 2 of these capsules daily with food. I think a real positive supplement if somebody's looking for that. So there we are. There is our new mask as part of our Age Well, Stress Less frankincense products. And if you have any questions after watching this, then do give me a shout. Be really happy to answer any questions as much as I can. Have a look in downloads for all the other information, lots of images. There's also some videos on YouTube that I've shared in our Facebook group, and I'll pop those in the email with this recording as well. Okay, that's it from me, and be in touch when you need to. Bye for now.